Trickle-down economics, aka supply-side economics, aka Reaganomics, aka, my favorite, voodoo economics, is a popular political concept that sounds straightforward and easy to understand at first, but makes almost no sense when you really start to think about it. But after watching this super serious educational video, you're about to truly understand trickle-down economics, aka supply-side economics, aka Reaganomics, aka voodoo economics, because I've come up with the perfect way to explain it, in the form of an analogy, a rotten analogy. Imagine that you're at a kid's birthday party. You and everyone else are suffering through that song. You know what song. It's in the public domain now, by the way, but don't worry, I'm still not going to play it. After your ears recover, you realize it's time to eat the cake. And so you find yourself inevitably facing the perplexing mystery plaguing cake cutters throughout time and civilization. What economic systems can be invoked to cut this cake fairly? Well, obviously you don't cut the cake into equal pieces and distribute them equally to the children, because don't be stupid, that would be communism. So, like any red-blooded American patriot, you give them to the kids' hungry, cake-addicted parents behind closed doors. How do the kids benefit from this, you ask? Simple. After the cake trickles down their digestive systems, the kids get to have their cake, and possibly eat it too. Ugh. But I don't think I've hammered the nail of knowledge deep enough in your head, so let's continue on with this educational program and use a new analogy. But in the same setting as the first analogy, because animations are hard, dude. Seriously. Now imagine that you get a call from the President of the United States, who informs you of a big disaster in, say, Detroit. For whatever reason, he puts you in charge of the disaster relief program. It is your job to distribute money, a $50 million fund, to the people of Detroit who need it most. After weighing your options, you decide what you need to do to get the needy what they, need. Your final decision is to give the entire fund to, of course, the Detroit mob. You're a huge fan of the genius of Ronald Reagan, and so you know that this is the best way for money to trickle down to the people who need it. You're confident that Reagan wasn't using the trickle-down justification as a way to push a kind of welfare for the rich as an obligation to wealthy lobbyists who helped guide his rise to power, and so you adopt his fiscal plans. But to your surprise, less than 100% of that money makes it to the needy. In fact, you even catch the mob spending some of that money for themselves. Therefore, wealth inequality ends up rising. But is the failure to distribute money as intended your fault? No, of course not. You're no economist. Reagan's fault? Nah, he had a whole team of economists working for him. It is probably just a massive coincidence that things didn't turn out as the lobbyist propaganda predicted. I'm sure that no one really knows what would fix the wealth inequality in our country, right? God forbid we fight wealth inequality by lowering taxes for the poor and middle class, while eliminating tax loopholes that only the rich can take advantage of. That would be communism. And so, Joseph McCarthy wants you to know that you're completely in the right. I hope you learned a lot about trickle-down economics with this top-notch, although sadly not government-funded, educational program. Tune in next time where we examine the do's and don'ts of first-degree arson using rotten analogies. Thank you all, and have a mindful day.